I thought I come up.
That sounds great. If you want to say anything, you can still come on.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, we are ready and starting the meeting. So we do have a quorum. And so therefore we can proceed. The first order of business is to approve the draft minutes from May 3rd, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second, okay, motion and second, motion by Linda, seconded by Pete. I'm looking at you because I'm so used to you doing it, and Jennifer's got that. Thank you for doing the minutes, Jennifer. We have a short period of time to cover a fair amount of information, so I'm going to move us right along. The first order of business is to talk about the selection of the CM, construction manager, and I'm going to turn that over for a little discussion to Pete Anderson and Steve Blatt to see if you want to say anything right off the bat about that.
So we did our interviews a couple of weeks ago and we had 3 wonderful applicants and 1 not so wonderful, but from that we did some more looking into a couple of issues with some of the companies, and we finally come down with the name of the company that we hopeful that we can get a vote here tonight and with the selectmen later on tonight to approve them for working with us. And that's H.E. Callahan Construction. They're out of Auburn, and they presented a very good interview, and they gave us a lot of information about their company, how they operate, and they've been around the state for a long time, and hopefully they'll do a great job for us.
You want to add anything about H.E. Callahan, Steve?
Oh, I've known their firm for a long time. I've built buildings with them. The company is woman owned, and Christine Kendall is the president, and she is very experienced and she is smart, and they like this size project. It is not large or small for them. It's right in their sweet spot. She brought her project manager, her hopeful project manager, on to the meeting, and they both presented well. I have left a message on her phone, and she left a message on my phone today, so I'll be speaking with her first thing in the morning. And what I would like to do is have a good long discussion with her, and then with the committee's approval, I hope you do, and with the select board's support, I'd like them to come up and visit with you all, and we'll do some discussion. We can call them negotiations, but what we're really doing is trying to form an agreement. We would like, as architects, we would like to have the construction manual on as soon as possible, because our plans and whatnot are developed to the point where we want to start getting feedback. And that is the most important element of working with construction management, that you don't wait until your final bid date and then sink or swim. You start getting feedback right now. And so we hope this is all pleasant news for our committee, and we're looking forward to keeping going. We spent the entire day here with staff. They were wonderful, and as was Christine. And she helped us all along. We had a good long day, a couple more of those, and I think they'll never let us back in the building. But thank you.
A softball question up there that I know the
Please,
answer,
yes.
that I know the answer to, just to get it up there. Do they have any experience with health centers?
Yes, they have experience with health centers. They have experience with us. They have their own concrete department. in-house, which is one of the hardest subs to find, which means as soon as we get to a point where we're comfortable with the eventual cost, they could actually start excavation and foundation sooner, so we'll beat the weather next winter, and that's great.
And if I remember correctly, they, at our meeting, said that they could begin in October.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so,
Right.
and straighten me out if I'm wrong. I believe the next thing is you contact them and talk to the president. And then we set up, negotiations. So what we would be doing tonight is recommending, since the members of the subcommittee have selected this particular CM, now the municipal, committee would be recommending to the select board that we go with this particular company. The hire doesn't happen until later on. And that will be something that Janet and I will be doing with the support of Steve in the negotiations. So, but what we will be doing is this subcommittee is recommending to the municipal or the municipal committee to approve this particular company for CM.
To
That's
engage
what we're
them.
doing, yeah. to
And
engage them.
if all goes well tonight, we will craft a letter of intent for you to send to them. I hope you understand, I am your counsel, but I am not you, I am not in contract with the CM, you are.
Yeah.
And the whole point of this is that there's no adversariness, that there are three parties. The owner, the architect, the builder, and we are sort of co-equals, except she signs the check.
That sounds great. Janet, do you have a question?
No, I was just writing it, Steve.
Yeah.
She's just signing the check.
I'm agreeing with you.
I see Marnie, and I'm not sure if there's someone else on Zoom.
No,
Does anyone have any questions out in Zoom land?
Hello, everyone. No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Marty. If something occurs to you, please pop in.
Well, I'm likely to do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
And Steve, do you or the CM walk us through the permitting process? Who's gonna do that part, the local permitting? Pardon?
Apparently,
Apparently
Dorsey's
Dorsey.
gonna handle
They
the
don't hide the environmental permitting, but the building permit
Yeah. To the town, yeah.
should come from your CM,
Yeah, okay, not you.
not me.
Oh.
No, this construction manager. And I just heard an anecdote about, someone said that the town, for some reason, had taken out the building permit in order to save the fee. And in the end, there was a little falling out. This was on a construction contract, not a CM. It was a falling out. And the contractor left before the CO was in place. Construction, got a certificate of occupancy. That doesn't happen with CMs because you're a team.
Yeah.
But don't try to save the building permit money.
Yeah.
Let the CM take out the permit.
We pay what everybody else. There's no, the town has no.
That's important.
all right, so I am ready to entertain a motion that the municipal building committee approve H.E. Callahan as a CM for the municipal building project. And then we take that recommendation to the select board this evening.
That sounds like a motion to me. I'll second it.
All right, and all in favor? Or any discussion first? Any more discussion? Marty, pop in time if you have it. So, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
All
I,
right, carries. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Marty.
What was that,
Okay.
5 zip?
I think it's four of us.
3, 4, does Marty vote? or
No.
do you vote?
No, no.
no, I mean, I'm not voting.
She could.
All right, so, next order of business is to talk about the, revision of the health center design. Personally, I have a big map. I don't know about all of you. But we will show it up, on the projector up in front. So, Steve, are you ready to carry us through that?
Oh, yeah.
Steve, do you want that green dot? You wanna,
The green dot.
you know,
I
the,
have my laser, but it won't show on the screen,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
okay.
okay?
Which one do you want to see first?
Look at this one.
She looks small.
This is the revised or second plan,
There.
and we developed this in response to not only the bid that we received for the Up Island Fire Barn, but a similar bid we received down in Wiscasset, which was twice over the budget.
Wow.
And that chastens an architect quickly.
Yeah.
So we understand it's happening all over the place. So we, I arbitrarily said to my group, we need to take every step of economizing that we possibly can. Because our CM will come back and tell us that if we don't do it now. I decided that my role as an architect was to make sure that the users of the building, rather than the building committee, have a chance to review that first and make sure that it fit the bill and that they were comfortable with it. We did that over about a month. We not only sent it to them, but we came up and visited with them and grilled them on it. And we were able to save all functions but one and reduce the building by over 800 square feet. So we took a 50 to 300 square foot building and brought it down to 4,500 square feet. That's over $300,000 of construction value at $450 a foot, which was our estimate, I believe, on our budget. So we felt that rather than waiting to do it and then going to our client, I consider the medical staff, the people who use our building, we need to please them. We need to please you for the bottom line. We need to please them for how it works. So we've been working, and in fact, Mark, my colleague, Mark Willett, and I were here all day today. We got here a little after 9, working with every member of the staff, and they were terrific. And they are quite pleased. I want to show you a comparison between this scheme and the initial scheme. We completed this concept plan on the left, which was 5,300 square feet. We completed that quite a while ago and you approved it. Over to the right, far over, is the revised plan, which is some 800 square feet smaller. It still functions very similarly. The one function space that we removed was on the top of the building. Go over to the left building. On the top of the building, go over to the right-hand corner and come back one space. That was a staff lunchroom. And we combined that function with the staff meeting room. They are adjacent to the kitchenette.
Sorry, I'm not hearing well, so I'm just coming, so I'm closer to you. Oh, no, sit right there and just keep going.
So that's the only function space and the staff was happy to do that.
Sure.
So in the middle of these graphics, you gotta move the insert. The diagram in the middle shows you that the red outline is the old building or the first building. The green outline is the new building. You will see that it is 2 feet narrower this way. And what is it, about 7 to 8 feet narrower this way? And most of the space came out of the overnight apartment, which was too large here. So that is not program space for running a medical facility. That's a wonderful, necessary amenity, but it isn't there for the treatment of our citizens. And over in the right-hand corner, you'll see of the blue, red, green and red, that right-hand room is the old meeting room. Just imagine that we took that and rotated it 45 degrees to the left, and it became the red meeting room, the green meeting room. So things changed by inches and feet. For instance, all except one corridor went from 5 feet wide to 4.5 feet wide. But the main corridor that you have to bring a gurney through is wider.
Yeah.
So we looked at that. Today, we dealt with creating more storage, because we were able to understand that each of the providers' 4 offices down on the lower right-hand side of the building was larger than they needed, because they do not need 2-person offices. Whenever there are 2 people here, like an off-island provider, one of the on-island providers is gone, they're not there. So they only ever need 3 offices. Therefore, we were able to diminish the size of 2 of the offices, and we carved out some storage where they want to keep things like a rolling oxygen tank, a rolling EKG machine, all the kinds of things that they want to have in a central area close by, so they can get them into an exam room quickly. Those are the kinds of things. For instance, we talked about how many seats do we really need in the waiting room. We took a couple of seats out of the waiting room. Nobody was worried. Today, we just found out that the front office, which is where Brandy works, the reception and billing, was larger than she needed. We were able to give some space to storage. So these things all started to fall into place. And we've got very, very good responses from Dory, Owen, and Beth. And it just worked very well today. Odessa is very pleased. She's very important to the operation of the clinic. She can do anything. So we were upstairs in the attic here looking at equipment and storage and all of this stuff. I hope that you understand that we did not diminish the practical functioning of the building. We are taking it in a direction where we are more confident that it will be on budget. And that's why we've done it. I apologize for not coming to you first, but you would have said to me, we're okay, what about the clinic staff? So we went to them to save the time, and we hope we can do this in one meeting.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You've taken away the porch?
No, we put it back. It's
Okay.
not there, but last night we put it back. And it was mentioned to me today. Someone said to me, you know, that porch with a little roof over it
It looks nice.
was pretty nice, because we could do a COVID test there. It's
Yeah.
outside the building, but it's just outside the building. And if a family comes and one child is in with one adult, the other adult can be outside on the porch with the other child, instead of causing a ruckus in the waiting room. They were very pleased with that. I do want you to know that we now have grades, and we're working with Gartley and Dorsey engineers, and we've lowered the building. So it's only 1 step above grade, which is terrific. That means that we don't have a steep ramp with railings. We have an extremely gradual ramp that is so gradual that you don't need railings. So all of this stuff is making, Fred and Mert concurred that the platform that the ambulance comes up with to lead into the critical care room doesn't need to be raised, it can be at grade. So all these refinements are going in the right direction. Mert's been very, very cooperative with utilities and underground this and underground that. And our spirits are very high. We're pushing forward every day.
All right, questions for Steve? And that's from anyone in the room or on Zoom. I'm happy to see Cressica here. At some point, Cressica will be connecting more with the architect's office in terms of when they start implementing.
That starts tomorrow morning in our office, and we will be in touch with Cressica soon.
Marnie, anything else?
Does the roof line change?
It changes slightly. It still has the same form, dropped a bit, but I'm looking at it very closely. And if I raise it just a little bit, it might be more handsome but I'm worried about building more attic
Oh,
than is reasonable, because we're not using it. And we had a wonderful, graceful attic. Promise it will be handsome. It may not be that high. We will have elevations for you within days,
oh, good.
and I'll send them to you.
All right, wonderful.
And the facade, it will still look like a little cottage.
It still looks exactly, the entrance.
The entrance
is
is the
identical.
same.
It's identical. It's the same overhang with the arch, the name under it, and the columns, and the little rooflet coming out.
Great,
That we're holding on.
great.
I had a question. Will the new roof line still accommodate solar panels?
Yet more, twice the solar panels. Okay? Yep.
All right, we are flying along. I should never have said we only have a 1 hour meeting and we have to hurry up. Okay, so let's chat about how's everybody doing.
What'd you have for lunch?
Okay, so, we're actually to the point where we have a motion, and I actually wrote up a motion for this as well.
Good.
So I did not share that, but I will now. Do we want to say, as the municipal building project committee, that we recommend to the select board that they accept and approve these revised plans for the health center? We have a motion to that effect. Linda says yes.
Second.
Bill seconds. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous? All right. We are almost at the end of our meeting. I can't even believe this. So are there any comments or questions from the community? From Mert, from Christine, from Marnie, from Cressica? Doesn't have to be on the topic of the CM or the health center. Are there any questions at all from anyone? This is time for public comment. All right, yes, please, Mert.
I imagine that with the new revised health center, that we will still look at how the sprinkler system for the new health center fits in with operation of it. Because it's still unknown whether we utilize the water from a 10,000 gallon storage tank, or whether we don't want to shortchange this system currently on this building, whether or not there's any room to put a smaller tank for the sprinkler. I think we'll have to explore that.
Yes, so we're, as Steve mentioned, we are meeting with the engineers tomorrow. Part of that is evaluating the sprinkler system. Right, looking at the existing tanks and its supply, this building, its demand for the sprinkler.
Right.
The new building, its demand, and evaluating are the current tanks adequate?
Right.
If supplemental storage needs to occur, we can evaluate that.
Right, because this system is designed as life safety to get people out of the building, and imagine it applying to the new health center, the same design. So it's doesn't need tremendous amount of water, just minimum enough to get everybody else safe. The beauty of this current water tank of 10,000 gallons, that this sprinkler meets the life safety, but it also can utilize the whole 10,000 gallons to keep putting the building out after everybody's left. So we have a luxury there, but I know, please, to help the life safety sprinkler, you don't need that much volume. It is gonna have a fire department connection, so we can keep it maintained from outside water sources. And we have to look at you mentioned, we'll have its own alarm system for the new health center. And how how that building gets power will have to be looked at. And then broadband, internet connections and all of this. So all of the components will have to be just double checked with that.
Our engineers will be visiting the island and meeting absolutely with you and with others to make sure that everything is coordinated.
No decisions will be made without that input and calculations and analysis. And as I mentioned, all decisions will be run through the town prior.
Mark, could you repeat that just a little louder?
Sure. So all the decisions relating engineering related actions, sprinklering, communications, plumbing, our engineers will perform calculations to make sure they meet building codes, but does not impact current operations here at the building, at your existing building, and without input from permanent staff.
Because we'll also have to look at, we only have one well that's feeding this building, and how much calculation we figure out how much impact for the demand of the new health center.
Right.
And I don't know. Maybe JT can give us an insight of the capacity of the well, the recovery of the well, and the quality of the well.
Right.
Those things we can look at.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Bill, did you have something?
I did not.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Steve, do you have any kind of an update on the fire barn for us?
We have a completely new and different site plan for the fire barn. Gartley Dorsky visited the site with us, Bill Lane, and we had a very, very good meeting and decided that a far better approach to the building would be off, tell me the name of the road, to the right. I did. Do you know the name of that? Mark, what's the name of the road?
The driveway.
What's the?
Meadow
what's-
Pond.
Meadow Pond.
Meadow Pond.
That's the next one that leads up to the car facility.
Oh, who's, what is
Who's?
it?
Yeah,
Driveway.
Who's
Driveway.
Who's driveway?
Yeah.
That appears to be not a private driveway, it's a road. Is that true?
No,
No.
Okay.
they
Well-
might have put a sign up there with that.
Yeah, part of the research in looking at deeds and whatnot is looking at any easements, if any, on that road. Because currently we found that the property line on the north end of the site is straddling the road, the driveway, and an adjacent property. And so there's a little bit of research there to be done with the deeds and surveyors. And if we need to look at widening the existing road towards the south so that full fire truck access can be gained on the town's property, then that will have to happen.
That road originally went to the town dump,
Yeah,
Exactly.
right?
yeah.
I mean,
It was a DOT
Yeah,
pit
the
there.
well,
DOT
there was a
pit.
DOT pit, but
Right.
also to the left where the Hools live was
It went into
a
Lee
dump.
Lover's place.
Yeah.
Cause
Right.
Phil Berry and there was nothing out back
So,
there.
so there's no longer, so you're saying there's no longer a cut off of Meadow Pond Road?
There is not,
I see.
because,
Does that alter the orientation of that building? Doors now facing north?
the door is facing north.
Yeah.
What it allows us to do is save a tremendous amount of site development work. It allows us to lower the building closer to grade. We can still get a gravity pitch out to the leach field. We're closer to our power source. We can put our well anywhere. And we just end up with much less new roadway. We've also reduced the pitch on the roof and come to the conclusion that having the pitch high enough for the solar panels was once again, in this case, putting much too much volume in the attic. We brought that down and we've come to the conclusion that we should either put solar panels on the south side of the building, just mounted on the wall, or put them remote, just put them out in the field.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people do. In fact, I don't know if you've been on 95, but
Oh,
Every roundabout has solar panels, it's a
Yeah.
great use of the property. So, the building looks, the plan is identical, building looks simpler because it's lower. The doors are still the same and everything, so
Okay.
functionally it's the same. Yes, it faces north. It has less approach road, therefore it's more affordable.
Cressica, I think that, when I talked to you, you said you didn't think the changing a roof line was a problem at all. In terms of solar panels.
It's muted.
I think you can talk now.
Is she muted?
She's still muted. Cressica, are you there?
But we'll move on, but come online if you, hear us, Cressica, let us know, but I did talk to her and she said that was not a problem.
We also have agreed and have in the spec the panels, the tubing in the slab, so that we can use radiant heating and use the slab as a heat sink.
Great.
Hi,
Anything else?
you were late.
I started at 5:30.
No.
A lot of people got in.
I swear I got a text on my phone that said that like 2 days ago, but my phone died today, so
That doesn't
I can't
help.
prove it.
That stuff out.
We've approved both the PM.
Okay.
And forwarded that tonight to the select board, and we approved the revision of the health center design. Do you want to ask some questions about that before we?
This is the existing, the original plan, that's the new one, and this is the overlay. Just to show the. Yeah.
We have time. I hope
It saves
everybody
a lot.
doesn't mind if we bring Kate up to speed.
Wanna do the.
That'll never happen. Bring you up to speed.
You'll love
I'm gonna try to chat with Cressica. I think I have to stop it, so.
And the aisles, Steve, are they established by code or just usage, what experience?
That's what feels good.
And you had to narrow one of them, you said?
We narrowed them all,
Oh, you
and then
narrowed-
we widened one today. Because we talked about a gurney.
Yeah.
Coming from. If there was an event with a patient in an exam room. And we needed to get a gurney from critical care down in, roll them on and take them out, that was the important thing. We also came to the conclusion that every wall we possibly can do with stair rail and wainscoting, we're going to, because that's what gets beat up. Things bump into them all the time. And the current clinic has that, and it's.
And that change came in just after discussion with health.
We've been measuring things all day, and the last time we were here too. Mark and Jesse were up here last week. You're up here today, we're coming back next week on a day when. Who is it that's here?
Lisa on the.
Lisa will be here. She's not here on Wednesday, so we're gonna come up on another day.
While Jay is thinking if there's any other questions, I just want to add that Christine Robb has been incredibly helpful in this process. Well, folks,
Everything stayed the same up on the barn, it's the same size.
We changed down, and
That's
we
it,
changed the site work,
that's it.
moved it around, and that all came from our civil engineer. We didn't make him do it. He said, this makes no sense.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I think we're done, folks. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Quick.
So moved, second. All right, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, everybody. I had noise.
8 by 10, I mean, 8 by 11.